Hello, this is Dr. Mears, and this is Finding Slope on a Graph. This is my new camera, yay! So hopefully it'll be more clear. Definitely let me know how it goes after you're done. All right, let's get started. This is Finding Slope on a Graph. I'm going to ask you to do a couple things for this, and you've definitely seen this before, but there is a procedure that I would like you to follow when finding slope on a graph. First, we have to locate 2 points. These first 2 examples actually give you the points that are on the line. The next 2, we're going to have to plot them. So let's look at the first example, which is right here. And I'm sorry that the um, dashes didn't come out correctly, but we're going to kind of put them in so that we're going to be able to count the numbers. The first thing that I want you to do is locate those 2 points, the left one first, so the point that is towards your left hand. So this is the leftmost point, and this is the rightmost point, and I'm just going to label them L and R. Now what I'm going to want you to do is actually tell me what those points are. So the left point, we have to locate that on the x-axis, which is -1, -2, -3, -4, comma, and then we need to know the y value, so -1, -2, -3. So this is our x1, y1 because that's our first point that we labeled. Our rightmost point, let's find where that location is. Let's start with the x first. -1, -2. And let's go find the y, +1, +2, +3. So our left point is at -4, -3. That was x1, y1 because it was our first point. Our right point is -2, -3, and because this is our second point, we're going to label this x2, y2. So there we go. That's how you label your points. Next, we are going to be using the slope formula. So I'm going to put this here. M equals, remember M represents slope, y2 minus y1 because it's the change in the y's, divided by x2 minus x1, the change in the x's. Remember, it's always the second y minus the first one. We almost have that nicely set up here. Here's y2, here's y1, here's x2, here's x1. Almost like if we set it up in a table. So let's go through and use a slope formula. So here's m equals, we need to substitute y2 in. So we're going to come over here, y2 is 3. And I'm going to automatically put a minus down because we need that. Then I'm going to go back to y sub 1, which is our first point, and it's a -3. So notice I am at 3 minus -3. Now let's do the change of the x's. x2, which is this one, -2, minus, again, automatically putting those minuses in, x sub 1, which is -4. So I'm at -2 minus -4. Let's simplify this so we get 1 ratio here. 3 minus -3. Subtracting a negative is adding the opposite, so it's 3 plus 3, which comes out to be 6. -2 minus -4, again, adding the opposite. So -2 plus 4 is going to give us a 2. We are going to be reducing our fractions. 6 divided by 2 is 3 over 1. So this is the slope in its reduced form. So this would be correct, 6 over 2, and we're actually going to find that on the graph, that's what that slope is between those 2 points. However, I would like the reduced because that works as well. So this is the first thing that I'm going to want you to do is do the slope formula. The second thing that I'm going to want you to do is check it. So how you check it is actually give me the directions from how to get from the left point to the right point. So almost like, are we going to go up, down, left, right? So let's go to left point. Remember, we're always going to be going up or down because that's a change in the y's. Change in the y's is always up or down. Up, down. The change in the x's are always going right, left. Since we're starting at the leftmost point, we are basically always going to be going to the right for now. When we get into graphing a line, it's going to be both directions. But for now, let's see how many we have to count to get up to that right point. So we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we went up 6, and that's why we have our +6. So this one is correct right here. Then we're going to be going to the right 1, 2. We went right 2. So this up 6, right 2, we got it correct, so that checks it out. Let's check out our 3 over 1. So our 3 over 1, we should be going up 3 and we should be going to the right 1. So let's go. Starting at our left point, let's count up 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm here. Let's go over 1. So we went up 3 over 1. I'm not quite there yet. I'm actually at this point on the line right here. So let's do it one more time. Up 3, right 1. Oh, hey, look where I land. If I actually do this slope twice, I land at that rightmost point. So this actually works. I just have to do it twice, which makes sense because 3 times 2 is 6, and 1 times 2 is 2. So this is how I want you to check it. So first you're going to use the slope formula. You're going to reduce it. Then you're going to tell me how you got from the left point to the right point to make sure that your slopes check out. So when you're giving me an answer, this is the slope. I want the reduced form. Checking it is absolutely fine. Checking it both ways is excellent. All right, let's do the second one. So we're actually looking for the left point and the right point. So here is our left, and that's going to be our first point, x1, y1. And here is our right, and that's going to be our second point, x2, y2. So let's see where they're located. Put little dashes in again. You can fill your paper in with me because this is in your ISN. Again, I'm sorry it came out really lightly. I tried to copy it a little bit darker, but it didn't quite work. All right, so let's locate this left point. We have to go over to -1, -2 for the x, and up 1, 2, 3, +4 on the y. For the right point, we go +1, +2, +3 on the x, and up to +1 on the y. Now, let's do our slope formula. M equals, it's going to be y sub 2, which is going to be y sub 2 right here. So we're going to put 1. I automatically put a minus down. Y sub 1 is up here, 4. So again, we're going to be doing 1 minus 4. X sub 2. X sub 2 is 3. Minus automatically. X sub 1 is -2. Let's do our additions and subtractions. 1 minus 4 is going to give us -3. 3 adding the opposite is going to give us 5. So this is our slope. This is in reduced form, so we do not have to reduce. So let's check it. This -3, we're probably going to be going down, so let's see if we do. Starting at your leftmost point, how many do you have to count down to get to your right? 1, 2, 3. -3. So we did go down 3, which is correct because that was our -3. Let's count how many over to the right we have to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's +5, and we did do that. We went right 5. So we checked our slope. So we chose 2 points on the line, starting with the left one, substituted into the slope formula, made sure it was reduced, and then made sure that we could get from the left point to the right point by actually saying what it tells us to do. Those are the first 2 examples. Let me move my paper down so that we can see the last 2 examples. I'm going to draw, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to draw a little squiggly line here. Here's our second 2 examples. Notice we have no points. I'm going to again put in the little dashes. And I'm actually going to pick 2 points. When you pick 2 points, you have to make sure that they're on this line and then they go through a corner. So I'm going to pick this point right here because it goes through a corner, and on your paper you could probably see it better than on the video that it's passing through that corner of that graph on the grid. And let's pick another place where the line crosses the corner of the grid. And I'm going to assume that's going to be right about here where x is going to be 3. So these are the 2 points where this line crosses the corner of our grid. Here's our left point, here's our right point. Now, labeling them left and right will help you keep your work organized. So I highly suggest labeling them left and right. Let's write down what our leftmost point is. Our leftmost point is -1, -2, -3, -4 on the x, and -1 on the y. Our rightmost point is going to be +1, +2, +3 on the x, and -1, -2, -3, and -4 on the y. Let's substitute it into our slope formula. It's going to be y, oops, let's label our points. This is x1, y1. This is our second one, so x2, y2. Now let's substitute it to our slope formula. Y2, which is negative 4, automatically I write down a minus. Y1, which is negative 1. Then we have x2, which is 3, automatically write down a minus. X1, which is negative 4. Let's do our subtraction and additions. Negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. That's reduced, so let's check it. Let's go to our left point. Let's see how many we have to count down to get to our right one. 1, 2, and 3. Good job, because see how it's lining up. So we did go down 3, and we should be going over 7. Let's check. Over to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We did do plus 7, so our slope checks out. Now this last one, we picked 2 points. I can automatically see that this has 0 slope. Remember, slope dude, this is 0 fun if you were trying to ski on that or even skate or walk or skateboard. It's 0 fun because it's just, there's 0 slope. But let's actually check it out. So I'm going to put in my little dashes here. Okay, I'm going to pick this as my left point. This is my right point, so let's write down our left point. Our left point is at negative 1, positive 1. Our right point is going to be at positive 1, positive 1. Here's my x1, y1, x2, y2. Again, labeling this is going to help you organize your work. Substituting into our slope, here's y2, that's 1, minus y1, which is 1, x2, which is 1, minus x1, which is negative 1. So our slope equals 0 over 2. And when we reduce this, because you do need to reduce, this is going to come out to be 0. 0 divided by 2 is 0. So let's check it. From my left to my right, do I go up or down? No, I don't. That's why we don't. 0. We don't go any steps up or down. But I do go right 2, 1, 2. So I am going right 2, which is correct. So this has 0 slope. That would be your answer. I hope this helped. I hope it was clear. I may have to adjust the lighting on it. I feel like the lighting kind of flicked back and forth. But the more I use the camera, the more practice I get, the better I get at it. So hopefully in a few videos, it'll be perfect. Hope this helped. Again, this is Dr. Mears, Finding Slope on a Graph, and it is your ISN insert, so let's glue it in. Thank you.